grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to all. My name is Justin B., and I'm a son of an all-powerful, perfectly loving God and a qualifying addict of multiple fellowships, living in the miracle of recovery one day at a time. And I'm here with the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and my co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, come say hi and introduce yourself.
Wow, I'm just smiling ear to ear listening to that introduction. Thank you. I'm Nikki M, and I am a spearhead, and I'm just vibrating with my brother Justin at this high frequency. I just came off the Noodle meeting. We've got some amazing questions, and to everybody who writes in, and it's just part of this recovery journey with me and Justin. I'm just so grateful this morning. I have this grin that won't get removed. I've got my door open so Justin can't see it today because it's hot in Toronto. Normally it's freezing, and I'm just a shadow, a silhouette with the sun coming in, but it's a big smile, Justin.
I'm glad you're here with that smile. Keep that smile coming. We're going to dive into a couple things here. But before we do that, Nikki, just real quick thought for those of you out there listening. The annual renewal for our Zoom and our podcast platform and everything came up this last couple of weeks. So grateful that over the last year that we have had enough donated to cover that, but it has depleted our sources. So anybody out there that feels their higher power poking at them saying, hey, let's donate to the RICO 12 family of recovery resources, Noodle It Out with Nikki, Big Book Roundtable, RICO 12 speaker meetings, all of these things that we've got going. Please consider doing that. You can do that at rico12.com/support. There are links in the the show notes of the podcast as to how you can do that. We're very grateful for all of that support that we get. All right. So what we do in this Noodle It Out with Nikki podcast is we bring questions from people in our recovery circles, in our networks, and in our own interactions with people we sponsor or people we talk to on a daily basis to the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And Nikki takes us diving through as she speaks Big Book. That is her native language now. So grateful to do that and have her help us with these questions. And today we've got a question that came in that it was in the Noodle in a Noodle episode previously, and I'm really glad that we're going to be able to dive into this. And the question is, would you be willing to speak on how to not give up, how to not stop digging for God, how to not stop finding hope? Where can I find hope? How can I keep digging? How can I keep going? So there's our question for you, Nikki. What does the book say?
Well, it says a lot, Justin, and I'm just so overwhelmed by that question because we could probably do the longest running Noodle with Nikki podcast ever because there's so many ways. But I'm going to number one start with this. You must believe your book. That's number one. Okay. Cause how do you not give up? What do I do? How do I not stop searching? It's overwhelming. This is never ending. I get it. And so does Justin. I think Justin and I are here. I mean, almost the same time, almost 12, 13 years. We've both been in the rooms and over a decade. And I think, and you'll come in a minute, Justin, but I know for myself, I'm just opening up the can. I haven't even discovered anything yet. I'm like, what have I been doing this past decade? Because I think I'm just waking up to what the book calls the great reality. That's on page 55. It says we found the great reality deep down within us. So how do you not give up? Number one, you have to believe your book because it says on page 45, I've got my book here. We use the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous fourth edition. Why? It's the original manuscript for getting better through a 12-step program. And page 45 says, if I can turn there with the fan and the heat and all that good stuff. Well, that's exactly what this book is about. See, its main object is to enable you to find a power. So the book is going to help you not give up. The book is going to help you find a power and discover God. Because let's go deep here. I mean, you talked about a deeper discovery. Page 114 says the power of God goes deep. And my line out says endless power. I mean, when you believe this book, it says infinite. I mean, we're talking limitless is what it says, limitless. So you can never stop. See, maybe we'll break this down. This is I don't think we've broken it down, but I would love to break it down. It's on page 275. It's in the stories. And rarely do we go there. But let's go here and then we'll break it down and then Justin can come in on it. What's funny is we need an archivist too, because someone will go, Nikki, do you have a podcast on this? And we're up to like 102 episodes. I'm like, oh, what do we do?
Yeah. So if anybody out there is an archivist and wants to help us with that, reach out to us. We'd love to have your help.
There we go. And here it is. It's on page 275 because I want to go back to the question, which is like, how do I not give up, Nikki? Justin, how do we keep discovering a deeper discovery of God? How does this power that's deep inside of us that runs so deep, how do we not give up on this discovery? Well, here it is, 275, the keys to the kingdom. AA is not a plan for recovery that can be finished and done with. There it is. My line out says, example, once I start to get everything I want, like Justin, your life is looking really good right now. So is mine. We're kind of in you and I all of us over the last few years have been a course of up and down, in and outs, trials and low spots is what the book says on page 15, right? So we know, because we believe our book, that this is not a plan for recovery that can be finished and done with. It's a way of life. See, how do you not give up? You accept this is your way of life. Some of my friends are, Orthodox Jews. Some of them are very, faithful Muslims, Mormons, Christians in the, what's the Seventh-day Adventist, all these different sects they have for Christianity. Some of my friends are yoginis. Let's go deeper. My dad is a Rastafari. This is a way of life. And the challenge contained in the 12-step principles is enough to keep any human being striving. There's a key word. How do you not give up? You strive every day for as long as you live. My line says, as long as you live, which means forever. If you have command of the English language, that means forever. See, and I put my name there, NM, Nikki M. Justin's, I think he's writing his name there. You cannot outgrow this plan. So how not to give up? You believe your book. You cannot outgrow it. See, as stopped, arrested, it says we are arrested addicts. Justin and I have stopped our primary addictions, but we must have a program for living that allows for limitless expansion. There it is. Wow. There it is. Remember, I asked God when we prayed in today, Justin, use us, and God is. Here it is, limitless expansion. We have to keep one foot in front of the other. That's essential for maintaining our arrestment, for maintaining the freedom that we've grown to love and appreciate every day. See, others, type 1, type 2s, and you, Justin, you have those in your families, and you'll break this down back to me after, but like my sister, she can have a good day, bad day. It says, may idle in a retrogressive groove. That means she can go from better to worse. What's retrogression? It's the process of returning to an earlier state, typically a worse one. So my sister can go retrogressive groove, better to worse, good day, bad day, without too much danger. But for Justin and me, retrogression can spell death. However, it's not as rough as it seems because we become grateful. So how do you not give up? You become obsessed with gratitude. Like Justin and I can have a bad day. I know me, I can have like a bad month. But then when I stay here and I stay long enough and I do the work, I become grateful for the necessity. I have to be here that makes me, Nikki M, toe the line. What does toe the line mean? I accept the authority, the policy, and the principles of a particular group. So I'm in a 12-step group. This is a lifestyle for a lifetime. That's how I do not give up. And then I love this because this is the promise. Nikki finds that Nikki is compensated for a consistent, that's how I never give up, a consistent effort by the countless dividends I receive. My line out, the rewards are priceless. What's that, like that credit card commercial we have in North America? It's priceless. You can't buy this, people. Justin, come on, help me through here. Because remember, we'll repeat the question and then you break it down from what you think where we went, and I'll mute.
Yeah, so the question was, how do I not give up hope? How do I not stop digging for God, basically? And something you shared early in this, Nikki, I want to make a comment on. You said, you and I, we've been in the rooms for over a decade, 12, 13 years, and feel like we're just, you said, opening the can. And it brought me back to a poster that was in one of my high school classrooms that said something like to the effect of everything I needed to know in life I learned in kindergarten. And then there was a list of a whole bunch of things on that, hey, I learned this in kindergarten. That's really all I need to know in life. Well, I think I'm just stepping into the kindergarten classroom in recovery. I'm still in kindergarten, and I need to learn all of these things. And I don't know that I'm going to, graduate from kindergarten. I may get into first grade, second grade, but that's where I practice the things I learned in kindergarten. But I got to keep at it. And I love this paragraph that you brought us to in 275. There were a couple things in here that really spoke to me. Keeping one foot in front of the other is essential for maintaining our arrestment. One way that I try to keep up hope and keep seeking for God is in the 10th step process on page 84. I continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, fear. And when these crop up, I ask God at once. There's my connection with God. I ask God at once to remove those things. But as I move on down through that list, there's one place that in my mind I relate the words, we turn our thoughts to someone we can help, to this is how I hear it. I get where my feet are. And I do what I need to be doing because, as I have resentment, I get away from where my feet are. I'm off somewhere else. I'm resenting something else. I'm fearing something else. I'm selfish somewhere else. I want to be somewhere else. But if I get where my feet are, if I get back in front of this, if I'm at work in front of my computer, if I get back here doing work, I'm turning my thoughts to helping somebody. I'm helping my boss. I'm helping my customer. I'm helping my family, and I'm where I need to be. And that's something that I think is really important, keeping one foot in front of the other to maintain that arrestment. I need to be where my feet are and keep walking with my feet and not fantasizing about some future thing or fearing some past thing or whatever it may be. Nikki, any additional thoughts on that?
Yes. Keeping one foot in front of the other. That leads us to page 420. So we're really in the stories in this Noodle podcast today. Page 420 says, and I'm not even going to turn there because I want to turn to another page that I'm open to, but it says, we never just sit and do nothing while waiting for God to tell us what to do. Instead, we do the next right thing. Well, I better turn there. Okay. My memory's not that great. Menopause, everybody, brain fog. I never just sit and do nothing while waiting for him to tell me what to do. Rather, I do whatever is in front of me to be done, and I leave the results up to him, capital H, capital God, capital spiritual principles, And however that turns out for me, that's God's will. Now, Justin said, keeping one foot in front of the other. Then I heard the word foot, and that's in our book too, but it's plural, feet. And that's on page 130. And Justin, I know he believes this because he talks about it. And we do go here a lot because we do talk about, Justin talks about where his feet are a lot. And then it says, we have come to believe that he, capital H, God, this power, would like us to keep our heads in the cloud with him, but that our feet ought to be firmly planted on the earth. See, we're in earth school and we're learning how to serve, because this is just like Justin said, we're in school, kindergarten, and we're just waking up to the great reality because the programming's run deep. And then I want to tell this person, because this is what happened, and this is going to be my experience, strength, and hope, is that you do not give up. Because if you're like me and you stay in the rooms, Justin, today on Noodle, and I know you had to take a really important call from somebody who was dying, so you couldn't stay on. But near the end, the last 20 minutes, 2 people came on and witnessed miracles, like transformations, like the type they're talking about on page 153. And I'm going to say it loud and proud, how to not give up. The age of miracles is still with us. Our own recovery proves that. These 2 women I didn't sponsor. I know somehow they're there. They've gone through the workbook, through the big book. They know what we're driving at. So they're on the outskirts of what we're doing, not, one-on-one with us, or at least me, Justin. But they're speaking exactly like I speak. They're walking like I walk. They're talking like I talk. They've been reborn like me. And one of them's only been here 2 weeks. You understand, like, this is the miracle. So it's like, how not to give up? Let's read this. Page 153. It may seem incredible that these men and women are to become happy, respected, and useful once more. How can they rise out of such misery, bad repute, and hopelessness? The practical answer is that since these things have happened among us, friend out there listening, asking, how do I not give up? Here's how. They can happen with you, should you wish them above all else. I wish this above all else. And I always love to speak for my brother, Justin. I mean, we've been here for a while. I know he probably wishes this above his cute little grandbaby. Above everything, you guys, Justin and I are willing to make use of our experience. And these miracles, it says, they're sure they will come. So I guess you can take us out about there. I mean, let me see. Yeah, that's a good little episode of hope and strength, Justin, because we watch miracles all day.
Yeah, and I love watching those miracles happen. And you mentioned that I place this above all else, even my grandbaby, even my wife, even my family, my kids, my work. And why? Because if my recovery and if my higher power is not first in my life, all of the rest of that becomes last, and I lose it. I will lose it. If I don't put God first, I'll lose my grandson, and I do not want to do that. Because I don't want to do that. I love my grandbaby. I love my wife. I love my family, but I have to love God above all. And there was one other thought that I had that is slip. Oh, when I put these principles above all else, everything else will fall into place. Now, does that mean everything's going to be easy and my path's going to be smooth the rest of my life? No. But it means that I will be provided strength sufficient, energy sufficient, knowledge sufficient, whatever it is that is needed at that moment, sufficient in order to take that next step, in order to be where my feet are and take that next step into the future. But if I'm doing it on my own, there's no guarantee. And I will probably definitely fall on my face. Everybody, these principles here that we're talking about provide hope. They provide God. They provide life. So practice these things, these principles in all your affairs. Keep coming back. It works when I work it. So work it. You are worth it.